Hey guys, it's JJ. Welcome back to the Eagles franchise. It's off-season time. And last episode, I did not see that we had another dev decrease in Klay Riley. He lost his star dev. He already wasn't a great pass rusher or even run stopper for that matter. At defensive tackle, he was kind of a liability. And I think we need to start over at defensive tackle. We're gonna go through the Super Bowl results now. Later, there's gonna be the real offseason, the free agency and stuff like that. But first up, the Super Bowl, and yeah, the Dallas Cowboys were able to win it this year behind a great performance by both quarterbacks, but Dak Prescott did not throw a pick. He had a really solid game. And he won actually the Super Bowl MVP after he had already won the regular season MVP, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Zeke and J.K. Dobbins both had good days on the ground, and both offenses were great through the air as well. They passed the ball, they spread the ball around a lot. And even CD Lamb as like the sixth most receiving yardage had 58. And yeah, on defense, Neville Gallimore with the only sack, Juan Thornhill with the only pick in this game, and it might have had decided this game as well. But there you can see it, Dak Prescott, Super Bowl MVP and regular season MVP. He is a monster. And we're gonna have to face him twice a year, every year for the foreseeable future. Also, Kyler Murray wins Offensive Player of the Year. Joe Frazier wins Offensive Rookie of the Year here. But yeah, Cam Jordan retires. Micah Hyde retires. Cam Jordan sacked our quarterback in that playoff game. But we also have retirements on our side. J.J. Watt retires. Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson. So that is big news. I was hoping that we could maybe avoid having both of our O-linemen retire here in the same offseason, but we're gonna have to replace both of them now. And I think we are kind of prepared. We drafted Travis Maynard last year, so I think we're set at right tackle. But right guard maybe is not all that great. We have Landon Dickerson still, but he's going into his fourth season and he hasn't developed basically at all. He was a terrible starter. By the way, Rodney McLeod also retired here, the ex-Eagle. And yeah, I'm not sure if Landon Dickerson is a starter, but I guess we'll see. Bruce Arians retires as the Bucs head coach. So they're going to have a new head coach. We're going to go through regression now. And Fletcher Cox thankfully did not retire. We still get another year out of him. And he still looks great even after this regression, which isn't even that bad. But he lost a little power moves here, a little strength, a little block shedding. So it's not like he didn't lose anything, but still a good defensive tackle one. And Darius Slay is another player that could have retired. He lost his superstar dev, I think, last offseason. He's still a solid corner, even after regression. He lost a lot of regression, but the important thing is he didn't lose his great speed. He still has 92, but he lost -3 in man coverage and -5 in zone coverage, only -1 speed. So that's not too bad. I want to re-sign him with those ratings we just saw. Dallas Goedert, 29 years old, into regression territory. Didn't lose much, but a little bit. Even some acceleration, a little bit spec catch here, and juke move. So yeah, we have a 29-year-old tight end now. The core of this defense is getting older. Dante Jackson is 28 years old. He has star dev still, but his ratings are going down as well. He was a man cover specialist once, but yeah, he lost a little bit here and also some acceleration. So he's not, yeah, I mean, that's probably only one overall less, but yeah. Avante Maddox, he did not lose any ratings, but he lost superstar depth, which he just had gained because he had 3 picks last year. And then James Washington, he was a backup receiver. He's 28 and he lost a ridiculous amount of points at 28 years old. Pushes him down to a 70 overall. And that is going to, push him off the team. And Mitch Slaughter gained Superstar X Factor in the offseason, and now he lost it. And he also lost Superstar. He was decreased 2 dev traits. Not sure if I like that, but this is the thing that hurts a lot more because I can always get a receiver up to Superstar or X Factor. But Chris Madden, a cornerback, he hasn't been starting, sadly, because our cornerback room was very crowded, and now he lost his Superstar dev. He's down to star. That may not be so good. But we are still 3 deep at cornerback. I'm not worried about this for this season. We're gonna go through the mock drafts, and there's a lot of quarterbacks in this draft class. And if this happens, if the Lions draft Max Gordon, I'm not gonna accept that. They are not going to do that. And down here, Tevin McBath to the Rams actually makes sense because Stafford is getting older. David Manning is actually a target we might be picking. He is a guy I'm very interested in. But if this happens, David Blackman to the Bills, that is not going to happen. I'm gonna force trades there if I have to. And this QB draft logic is just horrible. But we're gonna go into re-signing stage, and I already talked about it. Darius Slay, I upped the offer a little bit on the signing bonus. I hope he takes this deal, $7.6 million for a 1-year contract. He looks still like a solid number 2 corner. We have a bunch of number 2 corners. We don't have the elite number 1 corner anymore, but he wants to play for a new team next year. So I would have had to up the offer a lot more than that to get him to stay in Philly, but he is not going to return. Although we could franchise tag him. Jalen Hurts, 152 over 5 years. This is a lot, and he is very inconsistent still. He's 26 years old. He's still at a 84 overall. And after thinking about it for a long time, I decided I want to give him a 1-year deal, closer to $28 million here. I think that would be a fair prove-it deal because I can't give him the 5th-year option here because he was a 2nd-round pick. But I don't expect him to take this deal. I expect him to hit the market here. And if the tag is not too high, I might be considering to tag him and give him his prove-it deal that way. But kind of like a Kirk Cousins situation. And he wants to test free agency. Another player I want to re-sign is Bradley Middlebrooks because this guy, he came in and he produced. He was a monster in the preseason. He had very few snaps in the regular season, but when he came in, he had the impact, and that's what I'm looking for. And that is why I'm re-signing him to a $2 million deal. He's a 68 overall, but he plays like a 78. Bobby Saunders, not much to talk about here, but if he only wants $750 without a signing bonus, I'll offer it, and we got the deal done. So that's a re-signed player. And then I'm gonna go through these players and tell you why I'm not gonna re-sign those players. Miles Sanders just got superstar dev, but you don't pay running backs. This is not realistic. Not gonna give him a 4-year deal that is not even all that high, so I think you could consider it, give him that 4-year deal that he asks for. But I think there's a lot of running backs, and I'm personally not invested in the running back as a position. We're gonna move on from Derek Barnett, James Washington, Ramon Hunter might bring him back maybe, but not at that cost. James Wiggins might bring him back. Shane McMillan might bring him back. There's a lot of players that just ask for too much, and I want to see if the market is gonna give them anything. Kayvon Wallace, not gonna get him back here. He is 27. He's not going to develop into anything. He's a 74 overall. I'm going to start over at strong safety. Chaz Surratt, he's already 27 as well. Going to withdraw the offer on him. Might bring both of those guys back if there is no market for them. Quez Watkins, I'm going to not bring him back because, yeah, I mean, he is 98 speed, but that's about it. That's all he can do. Josiah Scott, not going to bring him back. He is 25 now, 74. He hasn't developed a whole lot. He doesn't have any special ratings. And Javian Hawkins, Davion Taylor, Travion Williams. All of those guys are gone. And then Jamie Newman, I think he's a fine backup, but I'm not going to pay him $4 million over 2 years. So might be bringing him back in the offseason then, or in free agency rather. But yeah, that's the thing. I move on from a lot of guys here. I want to have the cap space. And yeah, now let's talk about franchise tags. $23 million for Darius Slay. I could pay it, but I'm not going to because I have the cap space, but I already have 3 starting cornerbacks. We don't really need him. He's just a 4th guy that would be in there and probably would push out Chris Madden from the rotation. And then Jalen Hurts, $41 million is too much. Not going to tag him. So he's going to hit free agency. He's going to find a new team, and I'm going to start over with Christian Landry. Let's talk about cut candidates. Josh Sweat has a monstrous deal, $18 million, but not gonna cut him, even though we would save a lot, because we're already thin at edge rusher. And Dante Jackson, it's kind of the same deal. If I wanted to do that, I would have brought back Darius Slay, but I think that Dante Jackson is a similar cornerback with a little bit more speed and half the cap hit. So we're gonna enter free agency with $134 million in cap space. Yeah, that is ridiculous. So let's hope somebody's out there that we can give a big deal to. And right off the bat, I'm not all that amused. Teron Armstead, I already have a left tackle, I have a right tackle. It would be a 1-year solution. Stephon Gilmore is an interesting candidate, but I think it would be kind of the same deal as bringing back Darius Slay. Aaron Rodgers, it's not realistic to go after him because he's 40 years old. He wants to win rings, and this roster is not ready to win rings. Von Miller is on the market, and we just lost an edge rusher, rather 2. So he might be a candidate here. T. Higgins is on the market. I'm not going to bring him in. Miles Sanders already getting massive offers from these teams. Younghoe Koo is on the market. I'm happy with Jake Elliott at kicker. Michael Pittman. Jalen Hurts might be going to the Falcons, just like Miles Sanders. DeMarcus Lawrence. That is an interesting one because he's an ex-Cowboy, and if I bring him in, that'd be a funny story just because he then has to play the Cowboys twice a year. Kind of the revenge games and whatnot. So that's interesting. And yeah, Marcus Peters is on the market. Darius Slay's on the market. A lot of these older cornerbacks in the mid 80s are on the market, but I already have 3 cornerbacks in the mid to low 80s, so not really all that interested in all of those guys. And yeah, AJ Dillon, Bryce Callahan, Eric Kendricks is an interesting target. I may want to take a look at him. He is an interesting linebacker if he still got some athleticism left. Same goes for Levante David. I might bring one of those two guys in, and then Taylor Lewan. Yeah, I already got my tackles, so I'm fine there. So maybe a guard would be interesting, but I already can tell you there is no interesting guard prospects in this free agent class. I think the top one was 79 overall, Laken Tomlinson or stuff like that. So yeah, might be sticking to Landon Dickerson and hope it works out. And yeah, I'm gonna try to bring in Von Miller. He still looks like a monster. 86 XL, 85 speed, 91 block shedding, and 86 and 85 power and finesse moves. So he looks like a monster, and I'm giving him a solid deal. I'm gonna yeah, raised the offer a ton, and he doesn't even have interest. But it's realistic to give him that kind of money because he's a Hall of Fame pass rusher. He's going to be inducted first try and first ballot. I'm sorry. And that's why I'm giving him this massive offer. And yeah, Eric Kendricks, he has lost a little bit of his acceleration and speed. He has still 80 zone coverage, but he also has 80 block shedding, which is not that high anymore. He is a solid option. The other option is Lavonte David, both 81 overall, both star dev, both in their 30s. And I think Lavonte David just has a little bit more speed, a little bit more block shedding, a little bit less zone coverage, but a little bit more awareness and play rec as well. So yeah, that is, I was going back and forth because in real life I like Eric Kendricks a little bit more, but in this version of Madden, I'm gonna go with Lavonte David, 34 years old, out of Nebraska. I'm gonna give him a 1 year, $8 million offer, and I hope he takes it. I raised it a lot. The fair offer would be close to 7, so I raised it about 15%, and he has no other offers yet, if I remember correctly. So I really hope that he takes the deal on first try. Grant Delpit is on the market. We just lost a strong safety, which was not developing all that much. Grant Delpit is 25 years old. He has 90 speed, 77 zone coverage, 71 man, and great run stopping abilities as well. I mean, he's not a Jamal Adams of any sort, but those fair deals for this guy are way too low. 14 million over 4 years, that is not enough, and I'm gonna pay him like a above average starting strong safety, because that's what I hope he's going to develop into in the future. He is, I think he's worth $8 million per year. He has not developed a whole lot because he was sitting on the bench in New York, but I hope he is going to be accepting the deal. I went way above his market, but yeah, those are 3 players I want to bring in. Every level of the defense here, 1 defensive lineman, 1 linebacker, 1 safety, 1 DB here. And then a few other smaller offers for backup caliber players. Matt Breida has still good speed. Steve Gay is a player I liked. And Hunter Bryant, he's 26, but this money would just be for playing the second or third tight end role. Anthony McFarland still has an interesting skill set. Ramon Hunter is a player I want to bring back. Nathan Pickett is on the market. 24-year-old guard at 69 overall, which is good backup, I'd say. And then DeAndre Lucas and James Wiggins. Some low-rated backup caliber players. And yeah, we are going to see if this all works out. Can we sign some great pieces for the defense? Here we go. And accepted. Grant Delpit, Von Miller, and Lavonte David. Also DeAndre Lucas, the backup tackle. But we got the 3 top signings I wanted to make. I went above the fair offer for all of those 3 big names, and they accepted the deals. And I think that our defense might be a lot better next season if we can add a first-round pick to that unit as well, maybe a defensive tackle. And we're going to go through the 4th mock draft. Still top 2 players, quarterbacks, a great tackle to the Jets, which makes sense because they already have their starting QB. And yeah, Nolan Wilson at 6 to the Falcons. He looks like a superstar corner. And yeah, if this happens, Max Gordon here to the Giants, that's not going to happen. I'm going to change that around. Same goes for the Lions. Alright, can tell you that. I'm going to trade away those pieces and get some other players in. But yeah. At 20, we're once again mocked to draft David Manning. He is a target of mine. There is 6 first-round caliber defensive tackles, and every one of them would be worth it, I'd say. we have our pick of all of those defensive tackles. They all look like monsters, but we also have a selection here, a choice to make. We could also select the only first-round linebacker in Deacon Chancellor, who was marked to go to the Saints at 29. But yeah, that is going to be interesting, and we're going to advance to the next stage, maybe getting in some more of those players. Hunter Bryant is accepting the deal, James Wiggins and Nathan Pickett. So we have 2 backup offensive linemen, we get a backup safety and a starting strong safety. We get a second, third tight end here. I think the team is coming together again. We lost a lot of players to free agency. I did not re-sign a whole lot of guys, but yeah. We're gonna go to the private workouts now because we also still need a linebacker. It has been a problem since the first season. And yeah, I already scouted the top 6 defensive tackles, and I'm very happy with the information I know about them. So this time I'm gonna go linebacker. I'm gonna select Deacon Chancellor here. He looks like a solid linebacker, but nothing great. Not sure if he's worth a first round pick. And then Chris Reed, who is projected to be like around the second, third round, and then Rob Webster. All 3 of those guys have good to great athleticism and speed and strength, and I think that we may end up with one of them, but we'll see. There's also a undrafted caliber linebacker that I'm probably gonna select just because he has the best speed of this linebacking core, or class rather. And yeah, Coco Washington's his name. But we're gonna go about the over the draft prospects in the next episode. 5th-year options. I am a little bit torn. This is for Devontae Smith, but I'm not going to pick up his 5th-year option. I want the contract negotiations next year. I'm going to sign him to a massive deal, probably in the range of Devontae Adams. Like 4 years, $100 million, or maybe 5 or 6 years worth 30 per year, stuff like that. And yeah, we're gonna go to the next stage, the last stage, and we're gonna see that we also signed Matt Breida and Anthony McFarland. And the only 2 guys that I targeted in free agency that I didn't get were Steve Gay, that backup edge rusher, who then got a way higher offer by the Giants, and Ramon Hunter, the receiver. He just didn't sign. He's probably going to be picked up after the draft. And there we see Teron Armstead goes to Tennessee, Stephon Gilmore to the Steelers, Shaq Griffin to the Ravens, Johnny Hecker to the Seahawks, Miles Sanders signs with the Patriots, so we're probably not going to see him anymore. And then Jalen Hurts, he signs with the Falcons. He gets the $150 million. Also with the Falcons signed DeMarcus Lawrence. So they get 3 of my players. Darius Slay is going to ATL as well. They are spending big money this offseason. And yeah, Taylor Lewan to the Panthers. JC Treader. Eric Kendricks goes to the Giants. So we're going to see him twice a year. Didn't sign him. He gets close to 8 as well. And yeah, Chuck Clark, the top strong safety, he's a little bit older. He also goes to the Falcons. So they sign a lot of players. Laken Tomlinson to the Giants, which is interesting. And Quintus Cephas, they also sign a receiver. The Falcons are loading up on talent here in the draft. And yeah, the Bengals have a massive receiving core and still get yet another receiver here. That is interesting. Mock Draft 5. This is maybe a projection of what will happen in the draft. And yeah, 3 quarterbacks, top 5. The Falcons, by the way, get Nolan Wilson. And I personally think that Nolan Wilson is going to be the top prospect emerging from this draft class. And if I had a chance to draft him, I would. There is no need too big to get Nolan Wilson, even though we already have 3 quality starting cornerbacks. Max Gordon to the Giants. If that really happens, I'm going to trade him with some other rookie in that first round. Stevie Hayes to the Bengals. Same deal here. If that happens, I might just trade him to, I don't know, the Rams and get the Bengals that left outside linebacker. We're once again mocked David Manning. That has been an occurring theme. Tevin McBath to the Titans actually makes sense. He looks to me like the best quarterback you can get in this draft class, and yeah, the Titans do not have a starting quarterback as of right now. Deacon Chancellor at 29 to the Saints. So if we want to draft him, we got to do it in the first round. We might get some of the defensive tackles in the early second round, but we would have to trade up to do that. So I'm not sure if I really want to do that. But yeah, that is going to do it for this episode. Usually I go through all the draft prospects at the end of this episode, at the end of free agency, because I want to start off with, right the number 1 pick in the draft when I start the draft episode. But this time around, I think the free agency period was interesting enough so that I will do the prospects in the draft episode as well. I'm gonna put in chapters so you can jump to the draft itself if you're not interested. But there's a lot of interesting prospects. There's about 20 prospects or so I have set my eyes on that I really want to select, and then about 100 more that are interesting and might be good picks if they fall to me, stuff like that. So yeah, this draft is going to be really interesting. I am so excited to get to that. And yeah, for now, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more Eagles franchise. See you in the next episode. Until then, spread some love.